Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. This is when you guys are seeing it. It's good to be back with you guys. I'm JP Gunner. This is Crime Time. Guys, there's no Brian Koberger news. So for all the Koberger obsessive motherfuckers, y'all can just go ahead and bounce on out of here. We do got an update on the Haro situation. We got a Ukrainian woman who was actually killed in North Carolina by a Taiwanese, and we have some other news to talk about here today. I did start a new format where we talk about multiple stories in each video, and it seems from the feedback a lot of you guys love it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do deep dives into major stories, but this is how you get a video from me every day. So here's how you get it. Let's go.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning or good afternoon. You know what the fuck I mean. Anyway, I do want to say before we kick the video off, thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Hell, any of my channels, regardless of platform, regardless of method you choose, whether it's PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, whatever. I appreciate you, Patreon, whatever the case may be. Thank you guys so much. I couldn't have done this for the last 19 years on all these different channels if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Thank you so much. If you too find my content valuable, scroll down, hit the links, join the Gun Squad. You can also find links to some of my other content, some of it. I got 24 different channels, and actually it's been up to 48 because I got some of my old shit back in the saddle. But we'll talk about that another time. Let's go ahead and jump on in here. Shocking jailhouse declaration of my... Actually, before we kick this off, I want to show you guys some shit. Because a lot of people, I don't think, ever take a look at this. The real-time crime index. And crime is going down. This is murders. We are down as a nation 19.4% in murders this month. And I know we see all these stories and we say to ourselves, man, there's crime going on all around us. And that's true. That is very, very much so true. But just in the last year, going from the Biden administration to where we're at today, 19.4% down on murders. Let's just look at violent crimes. We are down 10.4%. Let's take a look at rapes. We are down 10% on rapes. Robberies, we are down 16.2%. Aggravated assaults, we're down 8.2%. Property crimes, we're down 12.1%. Burglaries, we are down 13.5%. Thefts, we're down 8.5%. And this is all nationwide. And motor vehicle thefts, we are down 23.7%. So crime-wise, crime numbers, at least under this administration, we're looking really fucking good right now. 2025, we went down in crimes. Shocking jailhouse declaration. And I know it doesn't seem that way because we got a lot of these big cases that we cover, obviously, on the True Crime channel. Shocking jailhouse declaration of mom accused of murdering baby Emmanuel Haro. Now, yesterday, if you remember, the father was out. It looked like he was out there trying to help them find the body, as she still insists that he was abducted. She's sticking to her story. A mother suspected of killing her baby is sticking to her story that the little boy was abducted by mystery assailants while she was changing his diaper. And I got to be honest with you. It's smart on her behalf. Can we all agree on that? Now, I know we want the case solved, so we want her to tell the truth. But can we be honest from a criminal perspective? Changing your story when talking to investigators, detectives, and police is always a bad move. I have a strong feeling that the mom and dad in this Haro story, this Emmanuel Haro story, Haro, whatever the fuck, however you pronounce his name, I believe they're going to turn on each other. I believe that's what's cooking right now, and I believe it's going to come. Jake and Rebecca Haro, as you both know, was arrested on suspicion of murder on Friday morning, 1 week from the 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro's disappearance. We all know the woman claimed that she was attacked from behind in front of a Big Five retail store in California. She told police she regained consciousness with a black eye and no memory of what happened. There's the young boy right there. There's the parents who are locked up. Yesterday we saw this man leading them to out there hunting with detectives. Anyway, we got Brian Inton over here. He says missing baby's mom speaks from jail after the arrest. Let's see what we got.
Rebecca Haro called Jake a good dad and said he would never hurt a baby. There's her new mugshot, by the way. A lot of people.
So this is a jailhouse interview. So at this moment, it doesn't look like she's turning.
Going in on both of those black eyes. And also,
Both
how
black
strange
eyes.
that she's still talking from jail. She
Yeah.
talked to the media before. Everyone was suspicious of her. Now she's talking to reporters from the jail, trying to stand up for her husband.
Which is
As
wild.
he reported, he was convicted in 2023 of an act of willful child cruelty 5 years earlier. It's an awful case. The victim was even younger than Emmanuel, just 10 weeks old,
Shit.
who suffered permanent brain damage. Jake and Rebecca also have a 2-year-old daughter who is now in the...
I feel like she's saying this good shit about the dad in order to prevent him from talking. She's sticking to her story. She's like, no, he's a good dad, all that nonsense.
care of Child Protective Services. Every single day, it seems like this case just gets more and more disturbing. My Newsnation colleague, Nancy Liu, joins me live from outside that couple's home, just outside Palm Springs. Nancy, they brought the dad out to search this weekend.
We can turn this volume off.
And still nothing. No sign of baby Emmanuel.
Yeah, remarkable developments in this case, Brian, but the bottom line is, where is baby Emmanuel?
Oh, we're going to get him soon.
Outside the Haro family
We're
home.
going to get him real
This is in
soon.
Cabazon, which is about 15 miles west of Palm Springs. We can tell you this house is deserted. Obviously, mom and dad, they are
yeah, of course.
now in jail. The 2-year-old child is now in custody of Child Protective Services, and we understand that Jake's elderly mother is now staying somewhere else. I've been poking around this neighborhood, talking with people who live around here. They don't know this family. And the one woman said, you know, she's only seen the mom one time in 4 years. But on this side, Brian, I want to show you the memorial that is just growing and growing. It's about 20 yards wide.
Look,
you
man,
and I, we've covered a lot.
I'm going to be honest. I feel the same way about this than I do the protesters. Like, don't y'all motherfuckers got jobs and shit? And I mean this with the most utmost respect for everybody. But I'm serious. Like, who is sitting in their house and they're like, you know what I think I might do today? I think I might go buy a stuffed animal and go sit it on the road somewhere. Because the baby's fucking dead. He's not going to get none of these stuffed animals. Let's be honest. The baby's fucking dead. I don't understand protesters. I don't understand shit like this. But maybe it's just because my schedule throughout the day is so fucking packed. If I get an opportunity to just sit here and play the game, I feel, happy. If I can get a chance to get something to drink, I'm happy. I don't understand how human beings have time to go do all this shit, to travel to sites like this or protest or anything like that. I don't understand how people have this kind of time.
Tragedy, and this memorial.
And even more importantly, I don't understand what they think this will do. It kind of feels borderline retarded to me.
It is significant. So many signs, asking for justice for baby Emmanuel. Where is baby Emmanuel? This is obviously
He's probably dead.
Case which has touched so many
Clearly.
throughout the region. So many people had believed that initial story of the baby being kidnapped. Just a horrible story. The mom.
Even funnier is seeing those people write on their little signs, "Never forgotten Emmanuel." You didn't even know him 5 days ago. And you're going to forget about him the next case. It's just like you forgot Quentin Simon. If you don't believe me, how many people do you hear still talking about Quentin Simon? The answer, 0. You don't hear nobody talking about Quentin Simon anymore. These people virtue signal to make their little liberal or whatever. It don't even have to be liberal, because I know old conservative people that do this shit too. They do this to just virtue signal. None of them mean any of the shit that they're writing on these signs.
black eye, claiming that, she was changing the baby's diaper. And when she came to, the baby was gone. And of course, now the sheriff's department
And they're just, and they're doing stupid shit like putting a stroller here. I got some bad news for you. The baby can't be strolled around anymore.
Of murder, however, there is no body, despite an extensive search for remains, Brian.
And there were also no tears, Nancy. You remember when she would go out, the mom, and give those
there was
press
no
conferences,
tears.
and she
No
would be
tears at all.
crying. But I always look closely in those situations. I always look. I always look right at the screen, and there were no tears, which had a lot of people feeling very suspicious from the beginning. And
and I agree with Brian. All these situations, you see them up there, and you would think that, and here's the thing about women. Women can usually provide tears when they're faking crying. Let's just call it what it is. Women wear their trauma on their vest. I'm so trauma. What about my lifetime trauma? All the abuse, and I've been raped 89 times, and blah, 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 blah. Bitches be doing that shit all the time. And, and so every woman I've ever known, for the most part, especially the good lying ones, they can work up them tears. So I find it ironic that this broad right here couldn't.
So sad. What were you going to say, though, Nancy?
Yeah, I was going to point out that there is an interview with the father with a media station in which he talked about baby Emmanuel in the past tense. So there are people who are also making note of that.
Yeah, and again, the father who was once charged with child abuse, and the other child is now nearly.
Well, let's be honest. It's not like either two of these parents look like, Rhodes Scholars.
I was just thinking.
I'm not surprised.
Behind you, the little stuffed animals, the strollers, really drives home that this is just a baby boy.
Heartbreaking.
Do we know anything more, Nancy? Because I was so perplexed. They brought him out there in the jumpsuit on the side of the freeway where he spent hours showing detectives around, but then they found nothing. Do we know what he said to police to prompt that?
That's what I want to know.
The sheriff's department is revealing nothing about that search other than it happened.
He's going to lead them to him.
It's now concluded. But take a look at the video. Take a closer look at how he is acting, because I don't see him pointing or really talking in an animated way. I mean, is he truly helping detectives to find baby? I mean, he's not walking. He's just standing there. He's not pointing at anything. So how?
Well, to be fair, he's an inmate. I'm sure any sharp moves, I'm sure the cops have told him no fucking, they're out in public right now. He's an inmate. He doesn't even look like he's cuffed. I'm sure they've told him, hey, no quick, no fast moves, motherfucker.
Helpful was he? Was this just, an outing for him to get out from behind bars for a while? But it remains to be seen, was this a futile excursion for him outside the jail? They're both of the parents, they're being held here in Riverside County. He's going to be in court in Riverside County, we suspect, tomorrow morning. But
all right, that's today.
Video, I mean, what stood out to me, Brian, is that he's not really, is he truly helping?
Don't know.
Finding anything? Because in the end, they found nothing.
Thank you for watching.
I mean, they're right. In the end, they found nothing, but maybe he just don't know exactly where it's all at. We're going to move on to another story here. I do want to say this in closing about the Haro situation. I believe they're going to turn on each other. I believe the dude is going to eventually lead them to the body. I just believe he may be, not knowing exactly where he dropped him or whatever the case may be. We're going to get to the story about a beautiful European woman who fled Ukraine to escape horrors of war, tragically stabbed to death at North Carolina train station. That's right. Because you know what's more dangerous than the Russians or anything else in Europe? The Taiwanese. That's right. You thought you was coming to America where it's safe. I guess you forgot that they have turned us into what they now call a melting pot. Even though we're not. But either way, let's go ahead and look into the story. A young Ukrainian woman who fled to the United States seeking a better life has been identified as a victim in a merciless stabbing on Friday night. Irzna Zarutska, age 23, was found dead at 9:55 p.m. on Friday at South End Light Rail Station in North Carolina. The woman had only recently moved to the U.S. from Ukraine in an effort to escape the war. She was hoping for a new beginning, loved ones said. An irreparable loss for her family. The family set up a GoFundMe, of course. So that's what they've done. A 34-year-old suspect, Carlos Brown. Gee, I wonder if this is going to match a particular pattern of low impulse control individuals. Let's see what we got. Was arrested shortly after police arrived on the scene. Oh no. Oh no. No. What do I say? He's racist. That's why I don't hang. That's why I can't hang out with him. I've been saying the same thing for 20 years on this platform. Where there's more than three, I will not be. He has been charged with first-degree murder and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Brown has been arrested multiple times, with arrests dating as far back as 2011, and is reportedly homeless. You don't say. According to the Charlotte Observer, you don't say, most of the charges faced during that time, including felony larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating threats. Oh, yeah? Was it in a rap song? Have been dropped. Police do not know what led to the stabbing. Son of a bitch.
Developing this afternoon, a tragic twist in the case of the young woman stabbed to death on the light rail. We have now learned that she escaped war-ravaged Ukraine. I'm Evan Donovan. Good to have you with us.
It's good to be here.
Police say that attack happened in South End on Friday night, a very busy time for people to be out and about. Channel 9's Joe Bruno joins us live from there now. Joe?
She fled war-torn Ukraine only to be stabbed to death on Charlotte's
ain't that a
rail.
bitch?
That's according to friends.
I guess you found out who was worse than the Russians, huh?
The man accused of stabbing her remains in the
Let me
hospital.
turn this fucking thing up.
And as recent as last month, there were concerns about his mental capacity. CMPD has identified the victim as 23-year-old Irina Zarutska.
Beautiful.
She was stabbed to death Friday night on the light rail, and we have photos of her. The crime scene was at the East-West station in South End. CMPD is charging DeCarlos Brown with her murder. Court records say he is homeless, and he has a lengthy criminal history.
I'm sure.
Just last month, his public defender made a motion questioning his ability to proceed in his court case about misusing the 911 system. The judge ordered a forensic evaluation, but he was allowed to be out and about. The criminal charge stemmed from this past January when police say he called 911 and claimed someone gave him man-made material that controlled when he ate, talked, and walked.
What? This chicken, I feel like it's got mind control over me. Stop it. Stop it. Why'd you do that shit, Tyrone? Man, the chicken made me do it. The chicken made me do it.
The magistrate allowed him to be released from jail without paying anything on a written promise to appear. And police have not said what led up to this stabbing. We will likely learn more in court, but the first appearance has not been set yet because he has not been formally charged. Reporting live in South End, Joe Bruno, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
An absolutely tragic stabbing.
That is tragic.
Case, Joe, thank you for the update.
Yeah, that's wild shit. So, sign me out. Yeah, it's horrible. This whole thing is horrible. She just recently moved from Ukraine. Obviously, you know what's going on in Ukraine. So, obviously, I hope to God they don't let him out for any kind of mental shit. Like, we need asylums back in America. We need asylums. Perhaps FEMA camps. Anyways, the Ukrainian woman killed in Link's Blue Line stabbing, remembered as having a heart of gold.
Tonight, we're getting more information and learning more about the victim in a deadly stabbing last week on the rail line.
23-year-old Irina Zarutska was killed Friday night in a busy part of South End.
WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre has more on how her friends are remembering her tonight.
23-year-old Irina Zarutska moved here for peace, looking for a fresh start from her war-torn country of Ukraine. But unfortunately, she was met by tragedy.
Yeah,
family and friends
clearly.
of 23-year-old Irina Zarutska heartbroken.
She just had a heart of gold. She was a sweetheart, and it makes me sick to think that she's gone.
Zarutska fled Ukraine to escape the dangers of war.
Life was like it is right now, just bombing daily, depending on what province you're in, and you don't know if
You can survive the bombs, but you can't survive, you know.
you're going to live to breathe another day.
But Friday in South End,
Can't
she
survive
found
the
herself
hood.
in another battle.
Can't provide
CNBC
Charlotte.
says Karutska was stabbed to death.
All of this is part of the crime scene.
Just let that sink in, whether you're in Baltimore, Charlotte, Atlanta. You can survive Ukraine, but you ain't surviving Washington, D.C. or Baltimore
Now,
or Detroit.
it did occur on the actual train. Yes.
Police
On the
charged
train?
34-year-old DeCarlos Brown, who has a lengthy criminal history in connection to her death. It's not clear what led to her stabbing and if the two even knew each other. As the investigation continues, loved ones say they are shocked and left searching for answers.
She's somebody that abided by the law and doesn't get to live another day to even try.
Brown was also hurt in the incident and was taken to the hospital. Once released, he will be formally charged. Now, Zarutska's family friend did start a GoFundMe page to help the family, and you can find that link on our mobile app. In South End.
Man, that's crazy. We got another update coming here. By the way, when it comes to that, look, I make a lot of jokes, but ultimately, this is a very tragic situation. And I'm just going to call it like it is. America is filled with crime. And my position is because multiculturalism leads to division. You cannot mix multiple cultures together without there being division, violence, and crime. That's been my position for 20 years. That is my position today. That is why America is so ravaged with crime. It's because everybody hates each other. And let me explain this. When I'm talking about multiculturalism, I don't mean just race. I mean culture. I mean race. I mean religions. I mean multiple. Sometimes I don't even think two different political cultures can exist together. Think about it. Listen, man, as a conservative, how much do you guys hate the libtards? As a liberal, how much do you think we're Nazis and fascists? You get my point? We hate each other. It's just the truth. I believe small, tight-knit communities that share ideologies and cultures work the best. I don't believe. Why do you think small towns work out? I haven't seen a single minority or there's no crime in my entire area. Because the people in my area share value. Do you see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do necessarily with race. It has a lot to do with upbringing, culture, and what it is you have as shared values in your community. When you mix into this melting pot a bunch of people with different shared values that sometimes counter the other shared values, you're going to see shit like this. Hopefully that explanation works. And you don't get to just fight off that explanation by saying you're a Nazi or a fascist. You got to explain why I'm wrong. Because the ultimate proof as to why I'm right is why you don't see major crime in small, tight-knit communities. Guys, we got the hunt for Travis Decker. I don't know if you remember him, but he killed his three girls. He's accused of suffocating his daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. I don't know if you guys remember him. He suffocated them, and then he kind of went away. A lot of people thought they saw him in national parks. He has a military background, I believe. This is the man right here. Said he's nowhere to be found, but they've been looking for him a lot in the woods, which makes sense because this is the campsite where the bodies, the Decker's daughters were found right here. Let's go ahead and get into the updated news because the FBI has now joined.
Here at the live desk and out to Washington State, the FBI now taking over in the search for Travis Decker. The former Army soldier is accused of killing his 3 daughters at a Washington State campground. Local, state, and federal authorities have been on the ground there and in the air hunting him down since June 2nd.
We have no evidence that Travis Decker is alive or dead, but we are conducting a grid search operation over the next
I don't think he's alive. I think he's offed himself.
2 days. It's currently taking place right now. We hope to find evidence that will lead us to Travis Decker or any information regarding the murder of his 3 daughters.
All right, so the FBI have brought in more than 100 new people here, including intel analysts, electronics technicians, and even a mobile command post. Agents are now focused in on conducting a grid search within a mile of that remote crime scene. The bodies of his daughters.
I highly doubt he's within a mile of the crime scene.
Ages 5, 8.
You know how long it's been? I could hike the whole Appalachian Trail damn near in how long it's been.
8 and 9 were discovered in an abandoned campground in Chelan County, Washington. Through DNA evidence, investigators now say they found at the scene Decker is and remains the sole suspect.
Yeah, well, he was there with him. No question about it. Former sheriff explains intensified search for Travis Decker.
Before we run out of time about the Decker case, the FBI is now taking over this investigation. And it seems to be searching again, the same area that they've looked at many, many times. Tell us what
he's probably dead.
They're doing it differently this time.
This could be some Brian Laundrie type shit where he is probably dead in the area, and maybe that's the reason they're searching the same area.
They've got a quarter-mile radius around the crime scene, and they're doing what's called a grid search, which means literally every square foot of that area will be searched by FBI, the Marshal Service, ICE,
go find him, I bet.
Volunteers, the sheriff's office, multiple sheriff's office.
Because it's very likely. Because remember with the Brian Laundrie thing, he went to the fucking woods, and he was pretty much right there where they had already searched. Once you tighten it up with the grid search, it's, you know.
Every single square foot to look for more evidence. My personal takeaway from what the sheriff said today, Sheriff Morrison, is they're looking for Travis's body.
Yeah.
That's what I think is really going on. And if they come across other evidence, maybe tossed a gun or a cell phone or clothing or whatever, so much the better. But they've got a fairly small window to do this.
Why?
Because in another couple or 3 or 4 months, there's going to be an awful lot of snow up there. It's going to be
that's the Cascade Mountains, right?
Is going to be make it more difficult. And animals, if he is up there, animals are going to scatter his bones.
They haven't already.
They probably have, but it'll get worse.
That's the Cascades. There's brown bears up there, all kinds of shit. Mountain lions.
But they need to do it now, and that's what they're doing. They called it bushwhacking. The FBI special agent in charge called it bushwhacking. They're going through this really, really difficult terrain, looking everywhere. And like I said,
bushwhacking is essentially when you're going off a trail and bushwhacking on the bush. You see what I'm saying? With machetes, things like that. You get what I'm saying?
I think they're looking for his body. They won't admit it, but that's
if
why
they
they're
are,
there.
do you expect that they'll find it if it's there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's within that quarter mile, obviously.
Me too.
We'll have you back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. We so appreciate it.
I feel the exact same way. That's exactly what's going to happen. So we got the Ukrainian, beautiful European woman. Unfortunately, meeting her timely end because she decided to go to Charlotte. Should have came to the mountains, baby. Should have came to the mountains. We have the Haro parents who are probably going to turn on each other. Then we ultimately have Travis Decker, who's probably going to be found dead by the FBI now that they're doing a grid search. I think that's what we're probably gonna see. Good news is though, in America, crime is down this year. Of course, hard on crime administration that we're in, there's probably a lot to deal with that, a lot to do with that. Guys, I will see you tomorrow for your next Crime Time video. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. If you like what I do here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links. Let me know, do you like the new format? I know a lot of you have already answered, but yeah. Sometimes there's going to be 3 stories, sometimes 10 stories, who the fuck knows? Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.